Once there was a princess. She wished to marry a man who could bury himself alive with her if she died first. A youth promised to fulfill her desire, and they were soon married. Some years later, the princess died. Her husband was buried alive with her. Inside the grave, a snake crept, and the youth killed it. Then another snake arrived, carrying 3 green leaves. It put the leaves on the mouth of the dead snake, who became alive again. Both the snakes hastened away together. The youth picked up the leaves and laid them on the mouth of his dead wife, and she became alive. They both were taken out of the grave carrying the 3 snake leaves. But the princess was now changed. She no longer loved her husband. She conspired and killed him. But a servant saw her, and with the help of the 3 snake leaves, he brought the youth back to life. The two then went to the princess. She was thunderstruck. The youth put her in a ship, which had been pierced with holes. The ship was sent out to the sea, where it soon sank amid the waves. The Serpent, Italy. Once there was a serpent who fell in love with a princess. He went to the king and expressed his love for the princess and his desire to marry her. The king put up conditions that seemed impossible for him to be fulfilled, but the serpent fulfilled them all. So the king had to agree for the marriage. Soon after this, the serpent shook off his skin and turned into a handsome prince. The king burnt the serpent's skin. Seeing this, the prince turned into a dove and flew out of the window, where he struck his head through the panes and injured him. The princess set out to find her love. She took the blood of forest birds, went to the royal palace, and entered the chamber of the prince, where he was lying unconscious. She applied the blood on his wound. Soon the wound healed, without even leaving a mark. The prince regained his senses. He saw the beautiful princess and recognized his beloved at once. He embraced her with joy. Then the prince's father sent to invite the princess's parents, and they celebrated their wedding with wonderful festivity. The Toy Goose, Denmark. Once a flea, a grasshopper, and a toy goose got into an argument. They wanted to see which one of them could jump the highest. So they decided to have a competition and invited the whole world to see the frolic. "Well, I will give my daughter to the one who jumps the highest," said the king, "for it would not be fair to let these people jump for nothing." The trial was to take place. The flea was given the first opportunity and he jumped. But unfortunately, he jumped so high that none could see where he went to. So they said that he had not jumped at all. After that, the grasshopper jumped half as high and landed on the king's face, which angered the king, and he was disqualified. Then it came the turn of the toy goose, who stood still for a long time. Suddenly, he made a side jump right into the lap of the princess, who was sitting on a golden stool close by. Happily, the king announced, "There is nothing above my daughter. Therefore, the toy goose has made the highest jump that can be made." Thus, the toy goose won the princess. The Wise King of Leon, Spain. Once the king's barber fell in love with a princess who was equally fond of him, but the king did not like it. So the couple left the palace and went to the forest. On their way, the couple exchanged their clothes and went to the king of Leon. The princess offered her services to the king as barber. The king willingly accepted the services. The barber, however, told that he was the princess of Castile. The king of Leon fell in love with her and told this to the barber. When everyone in the palace had slept, they again exchanged their clothes and came back in their real forms. The king got up earlier than usual. The princess presented herself before the king. On seeing her, the king asked who she was and where the barber was. At this moment, the real barber presented himself. Then they both stepped forward and explained everything to the king. The king said, "I have been shaved by the king of Castile's daughter, and I have loved his barber. I will not be again deceived." They shall now be husband and wife forever. This was the wise king of Leon.
Thanks for watching. Do like, share, subscribe to Sahil Book House.